Welcome to Spectrum Perspectives, real talk with parents, professionals, and autism advocates. With your host, Cindy Gellermini.
Hi, everyone. This is Cindy with another episode of Spectrum Perspectives. And today I have a husband and wife team on. I don't usually have the husband and the wife. We have Patti and Kelly here. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
So I'm going to talk to Patti first because I'm going to talk about the pregnancy and the birth and all of that. Because I asked this question in every interview. Let's just sort of start in the beginning and move along. So, Patti, when you were pregnant with your son, Sean, were there any kind of red flags? Were they picking up anything in ultrasounds? And how did the birth go?
No, I had a normal pregnancy without any issues. I was I think I was 38, 37, 38, so I was advanced maternal age, but that would be the only thing. And just so the viewers know, I am going to do most of the talking of the younger years because Kelly is actually Sean's stepdad, and so he wasn't in the picture back at the beginning. So
Oh,
I'm
okay, good.
gonna
All right, then I made the right choice here to ask
right.
ask the right person. Okay, and the birth was okay?
The birth was okay. The thing is, it was kind of an abrupt birth. I was dilated to 5 for a few weeks before he was born. He was actually due on September 20th, and when people would ask me, I kept saying, as long as he's not born on September 11th, that will be great. So guess when Sean was born?
Oh
September
no.
11th. And so it was an abrupt birth where I was going to get an epidural, and he started coming so quickly that I did not have an epidural. It was natural, and the doctor was rushing into the room as it was happening. But after he was born, there were no complications. He had either a 9 or a 10 APGAR score. Um, so
Okay, so that's
yeah.
a good score. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then you have more than one kid, correct?
Yes, I have. He has a biological brother who's
Okay.
2.5 years older.
That's what I wanted to know. Was Sean the first or not? So you had
No.
something to measure this by. So
Mhm.
how is his development? Was it on time? Did he crawl on time, walk on time?
Sean did everything by the books, motor wise, crawling, sitting up. When he was 12 months old, 13 months old, in October of 2009, he was born in 2008. It was the time of the H1N1 flu. And there was a lot of, not like COVID worry, but a lot of worry about that flu in particular.
Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you, you cannot use the V word.
Okay, sorry. Did I say it yet?
Okay, no, I'm just
Okay.
saying. I'm just.
Just letting me
That
know.
was the other thing I forgot to tell you. I knew there
Okay.
was something I was forgetting to tell you. That was it.
We were encouraged by our pediatrician to get the flu shot, and they did not have it at the pediatrician's office, so we went to the health department. And I tell you all of this because it's very significant to me what happened at the health department. For one, I remember 100% sitting in the chair with a gut feeling telling me to get up and leave. And I didn't, and I regret that. And then I also asked the nurse about the single vial shot because I knew I had spaced out his shots. And I had known about the difference between the single vial and the multi-vial with the thimerosal in it. So I had asked her that, and she said that she was sorry he could not have it because he was 13 months and it was for 12 months and younger. Another thing about that appointment is I actually have a picture of Sean sitting with next to his brother waiting our turn, and he was pointing at like a picture on the wall. And that's significant because over the next month or so, he no longer could isolate his finger. And he could no longer pick things up off the tray like food to finger feed himself. He had been walking along furniture, and he was very wobbly like his ankles were very wobbly. At the next month, he got MMR, I think DTaP. He got a couple the next month, maybe two. And then I didn't realize this until years later when I paid to get our original pediatrician's his records from the pediatrician, that in that December, so that would have been 15 months old, and this is where the red flags started coming in for me with his development. At 15 months old, he had a second dose of the H1N1 flu shot, and in his records, it just says signed off by mom. Like I don't have a signature anywhere, but I really just questioned that because I felt so strongly and I regretted, I didn't, I think you should always go with your instinct, especially as a mother. And I went against that. And so, anyway, during this time, like I said, he couldn't finger feed. He could no longer point. I would read Goodnight Moon. He loved that book, and he would point. I'd say, "Where's the red balloon?" And he'd point at the things. And so at his 15-month visit, well visit, I brought my concerns to the pediatrician, and he kind of brushed it off and didn't think Sean had 3 words at the time, mom, dad, and up, he was saying and so the pediatrician called me back after our appointment and said, okay, I don't want to just totally dismiss your concerns. Why don't you, I'll write you a script or whatever is needed to go to our ISD, like our school. I don't know if they have those everywhere, but it's like where we would go for special ed testing kind of place. Go and see about like early on or some kind of testing. So I did go to that. He did not qualify for any help for speech. Like I said, he had the 3 words, and they said that was fine at that point. He did barely squeak in with OT. Um, and so that kind of got the process started for him getting some extra help. Medically at that time, I took him to see a developmental pediatrician. And I was told that he was a mystery. For a while, he was actually diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And I remember asking, like, how does somebody get cerebral palsy? Like, there was never a concern of low muscle tone or anything like that, for the first 12 months. And I was told that Sean was a mystery. I don't know, it's a mystery. Sean's a mystery. So, this is 17 years ago. Well, not quite 17, but like 15 years ago. So I know things have changed over time and whatnot, but that's pretty much what I was told. But I was a lunatic about researching. Like I couldn't sleep. I was up on the internet. I mean, it was before all the information that's out now. Like it wasn't you didn't have Facebook and Instagram and all those things. So I would constantly be doing the MChat test, the test like you rate all the things about your child to see how likely they are to have autism and that kind of thing. So it was really lonely time for me because my marriage wasn't great, and most people didn't seem to believe me. I knew something was wrong, and I just felt like I was just dismissed a lot. And so when he was 18 months old, I took him to a neurologist, kind of just to clear my mind. I think sometimes the doctor was like, okay, we'll try this, like because I wasn't happy with any answer that I was given. So we took him to the neurologist. He saw him for about 10 minutes. He told me he did not have autism. I asked him, could he get autism? And he said no. And I remember leaving that appointment with wanting to be happy, but I had like a bad pit in my stomach because I knew I knew there was something wrong and nobody would tell me. So fast forward a little bit, he started speech therapy closer to 2 years. He did have words. He was progressing in speech. I still have his evaluation from his 2 year, at 2 years from the speech pathologist. He was putting 2 and 3 words together. He was behind with speech, but he was making progress. And the other thing is, my older son was very verbal, very early. So I got that a lot too. Like, you just keep trying to compare the 2 boys, and, so that kind of played a role. But I don't, I don't know when it happened, but probably between like 3.5, by 4, no words. So it was never like he just woke up and there were no words. It was just like slowly fading away. But before he knew his letters, he knew his colors, he knew his shapes. So for all these years, I knew that, like, I figured that still had to be in there. But then he was a complete non-speaker. So, you know, then you start to guess yourself, second guess yourself, like, well, maybe something happened. Maybe he doesn't know that stuff. But we'll get to it. But we're finding out that he knows so much more than we ever thought.
Yeah. Yes, which we have learned with spellers, right?
Right.
Okay, so then where did he go to school? Did he go to a regular public school or school for special
So
needs?
he went to a special needs preschool. And when it was time for kindergarten, um, I was called in for his IEP, and they wanted him to go to a school that wasn't for autism. It was for cognitively impaired or cognitively or physically impaired school. And so I remember asking, well, what about the autism? Like, I wanted an autism teacher. I'm an elementary teacher. Um, but my the only special education experience I have is through students in my classroom, so not quite this kind of route. So I remember asking about an autism program. I really wanted an autism program, not a cognitively impaired program. I wanted a teacher that knew how to work with him, a teacher that maybe knew about ABA, because that was just starting. In Michigan, we were just starting to get to where insurance was going to cover ABA, but it wasn't quite there yet. Um, and so I agreed for him to go to this cognitively impaired school for kindergarten because the principal called me and said, we have an awesome teacher coming from the autism program to teach this class. And so I thought, okay, fair enough, that works. So he did that for his, I guess, his kindergarten year. But after that, or actually during that year, um, that's when Michigan opened up with ABA, and I fought with Blue Cross for about 6 months. Sometime, I mean, the timeline is a little fuzzy, but sometime within this part, we finally got ABA covered by insurance. So he started going half days ABA, half day school. And my mom would pick him up in the middle of the day and take him to the therapy clinic because
But
there's,
they didn't do ABA at the school.
no, no. But at least the teacher had experience with
With it.
children with autism, right?
Okay.
So I felt a little bit better about that.
Okay. Okay. All right. And how long did you go there?
He just went the 1 year.
Okay.
And then I needed to make a choice between school and ABA, and my mom was getting older, and it was hard for her to do that, to pick him up, and it as he got older, like if he ran off or something, like she wouldn't be able to chase after him, and so I made the decision for him to go to ABA full time. I also remember when I was talking about an ABA program, they told me when I asked them about ABA for him, or not ABA, I'm sorry, about an autism program, they told me that they did not have, that he was not aggressive enough for the autism program. And I said, well, isn't there a program for kids that aren't aggressive? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. So that was part of the reason why we went that, we chose
Okay.
that
And
route.
where are you? Michigan?
I'm in Michigan. We're in Michigan,
Michigan.
yes.
Okay. Just for the viewers, it's
Yes.
because different states are different. And
Right.
this was 15 years ago. I mean, I don't know. It just okay. Okay, interesting. So they didn't have ABA at the school. I mean, Robbie would be 35. And so this was, 32 years ago. His school had ABA at the school.
Wow.
But they didn't call it ABA. They called it something else. I forget what they called it, but it's
We
behavior modification is what it is. But that's what they did back then. So for me to hear that you were in school and still had to go somewhere else to get the ABA is a little odd to
for
me.
sure.
But
It's still that way, actually.
really,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
but things have changed. I mean, well, because then there was a big push to keep kids in public school and for inclusion and all that. And that's when I think parents had to go somewhere else to get the ABA. And
Gotcha.
So I don't know. This is why I do these interviews to see what's going on out there.
Right.
Um, all right. So now I know that Kelly is your new spouse. You said when he was born, you were married to somebody else. When did Kelly come in the picture?
When Sean was about 4 years old.
So that's about the time when he lost his speech.
Yes.
Yes.
We were just dating when I finally got an autism diagnosis.
And that was my next question was when did you finally get the actual diagnosis?
Just a few weeks before he turned 4. And I had been trying to find answers since about 15 months.
You've been trying to what?
Trying to get some answers from
Oh,
about
get some
15
answers.
months. Yes, find some answers or find
Right.
some.
And everybody was just saying he was a mystery.
He's a mystery. And, we were told he doesn't have autism. He's too affectionate. He's too, all the things. But as I look back, I think it was a slow kind of thing with him. I mean, we have now since found out lots of things. Medically, he has a double MTHFR mutation. His methylation cycle is broken. I mean, he sees Dr. New, who I know you've had on
Oh
your
yeah.
show, and he also sees
Yeah, from MedMaps. For
Yeah,
people that don't know, go back and watch that episode because it's very good. Dr.
yes,
Lee
he's amazing.
Schwander from MedMaps. Yeah.
And we also see Dr. Bogner, who's another autism doctor with his own speller. He's amazing. And he showed us a lot about the methylation cycle and, the genetic testing to look at the different parts of Sean that, he doesn't detox toxins. And so his gut is very messed up. It's all those things.
Yeah, and Apraxia.
For sure.
Gets mixed up
The
too.
Apraxia thing, I remember when he was very young, me asking about motor planning. Like, I think there's a problem with motor planning, but I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't know enough. And now, where we're at now, we were just talking about it in the car. Like, Sean is a poster child for Apraxia. There's so many examples of it that I see now through the years and everything. And um, I don't want to speak for him because I can't because he's not open yet. But when I read the book Ito in Autism Land, there's so many things that he talks about that I suspect are similar with Sean, like not feeling your body unless like he wraps himself up in blankets in bed, like he's all twisted up in blankets and things like when you ask him to smile on demand, like if you're posing for a picture, either it's like a very awkward smile, strained, I mean, like very much so, or he gets upset and mad. And I never understood, like, why? We just want a picture. Like, and it's so hard for him, especially on demand. So there are so many different examples of that, but coaching his body has made all the difference for our family. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'll let you
Yeah,
continue.
that's fine. All right. I want to switch the conversation over to Kelly. Now, you're dating this woman that has 2 kids, and then one of them gets diagnosed with autism. And how many kids did you have at the time?
I have 4 biological kids.
Okay. So what did you think when you heard the autism diagnosis? Are you obviously you didn't say, "Oh, forget that. This is too much for me."
It didn't scare me. In fact, when I was in college, I had a special education minor.
Ah,
So I worked with kids with like Down syndrome and things like that. So I always kind of had a soft spot for him. And Sean at that age he was so stinking cute. Like he was just fun to be around. So no, I was too stricken by her to worry about autism.
and how long did you date before you got married?
Um,
3 years maybe?
Less than that.
I don't even know.
Do you want the
No.
Well,
it's
Not a marriage.
this is the
It's a
first
good
time that I'm,
Oh,
this is like
not
the
a
Brady
marriage.
Bunch. This is like,
Yeah.
the first time that I'm interviewing a blended family here. So I'm very curious how the kids all got along and, and then you're throw an autistic kid into the mix as well. And I always hear from women they're very cautious about bringing a man around their kids because they don't want them to get too close to somebody in case it doesn't work out or whatever. So,
Right.
tell me a little bit about all of that.
No, and I'll say that we lived in separate states. So I was in Indiana, she was in Michigan. So we were 300 miles apart from each
Wait,
other.
how did you meet?
We were friends first.
Yeah. we met on a
You're not going there with this.
What, a dating app?
we
No.
got a no, not a dating app. So
Oh my
way
gosh.
way back when she was pregnant with Liam, the oldest,
Okay.
and my ex was pregnant with Mallory, my
Hmm.
youngest. Um, there was I was in the doctor's office and there was an e-pregnancy magazine, and I we picked it up, and there was on the e-pregnancy doesn't exist anymore, but they had a website and there were message boards, and I we met on a message board, and we were just part of a group of friends that were on this message board
We're
for a few years.
we're still friends with the people, many of the people that are on the message board. I was actually on two message boards, so I
Yeah.
still have these two groups of friends. So to not
Kind of
go
like
like
Facebook. It's kind of
it
like,
was kind of like
Yeah.
Facebook before Facebook.
right.
And he was already divorced. I was already going through divorce, like before we even started talking outside of this little group. So it's sounds bad, but it really
It's
wasn't
not.
bad.
Well,
I mean, no,
no, it's kind of like
nothing to do
Facebook.
with
I mean, there's
yeah,
how many people do you know on Facebook that you'll chat with or whatever? It doesn't mean anything.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we started talking in 2012. We ended up getting married in October of
Well,
2013.
wait, how did you date if you're living in different states?
Every other weekend we dated.
Did you come to her?
We
Both.
both,
You went back
or
and forth?
we would
How
meet
far, how many
halfway.
hours away? Like how far away?
It's 4.5 hour drive.
Okay. All right. So it's
Not
drivable.
terrible. And sometimes we would meet halfway.
And we took a while before before we met kids and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think we dated for probably 8 months before my kids even knew who she was.
Hmm.
Being in a different state, we were able to keep it on the down low from our kids because
Right.
we had the same visitation weekend set up, so we had the same weekends free.
Got it.
So yeah, I knew I was going to marry her before I even let my kids
So
meet.
your kid, how old were your kids at the time?
So this is
Gosh, we should have like thought about this before. Um, so Autumn was about 16. So that can
16.
help you. So like
Yeah, 16, 11, and 9 or
Okay.
something.
Okay. So you did have a teenager. So how did the
In the old,
teenagers,
in an
how did the
18.
teenagers react to you being with somebody else?
Oh, they
Yeah.
no problems at
They're
all.
fine with that?
I've actually adopted his adult daughter. She's my
Mhm.
daughter now.
You did?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So-
Good. All right. So the kids were
So
okay
so
with it?
Okay.
the kids are all kind of spread out now. Like
Yeah.
two of them are in Indiana. One is a senior at Ball State, and then our daughter that she adopted lives here in Michigan and has our two grandbabies.
And then our my other biological son is away at college, but in Michigan. So he comes home.
Okay.
So it's us two and Sean at home now.
Yes.
So
Oh, that's it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because they're
Okay.
all older now.
Yeah,
The
Sean-
youngest
Right.
of them are 19.
yeah, Sean's the youngest of the six.
Okay. Okay.
So-
And the others are 19, but they're in college.
Yeah.
Right.
But they come home to where you are. So you moved from Indiana to Michigan.
Yep.
Got it. And what were you doing for a living?
I worked in quality and continuous improvement. So I worked for a company in Indiana for 20 years before I moved up here.
Okay.
So
And then did you have to get a new job or?
I did, and I was a project coordinator from 2015 up until August 10th was my last day, and I left that job to go full time in the spelling to communicate.
Awesome. Yeah, which we're going to get to that. That's why I was just curious what you were doing then at the time. So, okay. So, all right. So he was 4 when you met or when you got married? When you met?
Well, we
No, well, I mean, when you started dating, I
Yeah.
mean,
four.
Yeah.
Four.
when you started dating, he was 4. So then it was a couple of years. So then it was around 7 or so when you got married, right?
Right. Yep.
And then you had it was a son that was the same age or no, or a daughter, the same age as Sean.
No.
Not as Sean as Liam, my older son.
No, but I thought you had a biological child the same age as her.
No, older than Sean.
Oh,
we
that was
have
the old. Oh, that was the 19-year. The
Yes.
19.
yeah, we have we both have 19-year-olds.
Got
Yes.
it. Got it. Got it. Okay. So I'm just trying to figure out when you got married, who was in the house at the time. So you
A
had
lot
your
of
two
people.
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
People were in the house.
yeah.
So it was
We
your
had
two kids and how many of yours?
At one time we had
there were
five.
three of his kids and
And
my two kids. So
yep,
we had five
at one
kids,
time we had five kids here.
Okay.
and a big dog. And yeah,
And you're a
one
teacher
shower.
and what? Oh, in one
One
shower? Oh,
shower.
great. Great. But you're a teacher, so you are used to
Chaos.
handling a whole group of kids at one
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look back at that now, and some of those times it was crazy, but it was great too, and time goes by so fast.
It
And
does.
so,
Yeah. All right. So Sean's 17 now, so it's been 10 years,
yes.
right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. All
A
right.
little bit over.
So, and then Sean he was continuing to go to school. Is he still in school?
No, he's always gone to ABA since that 1 year. He goes full-time ABA.
Oh, okay. So he's never been in school. He's only gone to an ABA center.
Just that first year of, I guess it would be considered kindergarten.
Yeah.
And hindsight's 2020. I'm not sure it was the best choice. Just because now we're kind of at a crossroads as he's getting older, and ABA is going to be phasing out after he's 18. And so it's like, now what? Which kind of will lead to when we get to the part about our clinic,
Mhm.
and why we feel driven to kind of do what we're doing.
Well, so what does he do there now as a teenager?
So they've been really good about, they still need to keep in the ABA tasks for insurance, but they've been really good since we started spelling in particular, being very open and trying to feed his brain with podcasts and movies and books we provide. That's one thing. Some adaptive exercise, like we've sent in videos, and there's this program from an amazing S2C practitioner from Atlanta. It's called Minds in Motion, and she has a whole adaptive exercise program for parents or to use in clinics. So we bought that and have it on his iPad for them to do some of the exercises with him there. So I think as far as ABA is concerned, they've done a really nice job of trying to kind of marry both worlds. I know that if we sat down and had a conversation about what we believe about autism and what they believe about autism, we're not quite on the same page because we have different knowledge about it. But I think they've been really respectful and they treat him very well there.
Yeah, I will say he's very loved there. Like
Mhm.
he is treated very well.
So
That's good. Do they do spelling with him there or no?
no.
No, yeah, because they're not practitioners, right?
Right.
So, okay, so how did we find out about spelling? How'd you learn about it?
So I bought the Underestimated book. I think it was probably in about 2021. I put it on a shelf and I was going to read it, and I didn't touch it for maybe a year. I don't even know. I mean, the time just kind of molds together. But I picked it up one day, months later, and started reading it. And then I went to Kelly and I was like, Kelly, we've got to do this. And so in the book, JB Handley takes Jamie to Growing Kids Therapy Center to meet with Elizabeth Vosseller, who you've also had on your show. I watched that episode. And so I'm like, we need to do this. And Sean was diagnosed with classic regressive autism. And he's profound, level 3, all those things in the, diagnostic world. We don't really care about any of that anymore. But so he's very affected by apraxia is what I would say more than anything. And so we just really figured if he's going to have a shot at this, we need to go to the source. Like I wanted to go where Jamie went. And so we contacted their clinic and waited on a list for about 15 months to see Evie. And we took him there in June of 2023.
And did you see the Spellers movie?
This was before this. Was it before the
Yeah,
Spellers movie?
2023. Well, I think that's the year that I saw it. It was 20.
It may have come
I saw
out,
it in February. Maybe it was February 2024.
or we were on
Yeah.
the list. Like we did not see the movie before. I don't think the movie was not out before we
Yeah,
went. I don't think.
No, I think it was 2024.
Yeah.
That winter. That's when I saw it, a year and a half ago. Yeah. Okay, so this was before.
I
Okay.
think we just
Okay.
had the book.
You had the book. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. And the movie was kind of based on the book.
Right.
Okay, so how'd it go with Evie?
So why don't you tell that? You tell it the best. It was, yeah,
Okay, so well, first of all, it is not easy to travel with Sean.
No.
Um,
very hard.
Oh, and she's in Virginia, just
she's in
for the
Virginia,
what
we're
people
in
know.
Michigan,
Yeah.
so flying was not an option. So we drove. I thought I had a spider bite, but it turned out I had bursitis in my elbow. Only time in my life.
He wakes up and it's
So
all swollen. I don't
Oh,
know
so
if
it's a
we're
very
going.
very painful drive. And we get to Virginia, we check into the hotel. As soon as Sean goes to bed, I could go to the ER to find out what was going on with me.
I'm panicking because I'm thinking Sean's going to wake up and I don't have a car and Kelly's not here, but
but I got
yeah.
I got back from the
at like 2
ER.
a.m.,
The
right?
whole drive to Virginia, I'm in my head, I'm thinking Evie said they've never had a kid who can't do this. And I'm
Right.
thinking they've never met Sean.
Right.
There's no way. There is no way
Yeah.
he can spell.
Yeah.
No, we're wasting our time. I can't believe we're doing this. But Patty wanted to do it. I'm on board. Let's do it. And so we get into the clinic. We have Sean in this push chair where he's like seatbelted in, not because he can't walk. He has fast and faster are his two speeds.
Very
And
impulsive
yeah,
body.
very impulsive. And with
Yeah.
it's just better to have him in the chair with his weighted blanket and
Yeah, contain. Yes, I always said it would be a whole lot easier if Robbie was in a wheelchair
yep,
because it just the constant have to have it to chase after that and
Yep.
yep.
So
other
hard.
trouble they can get into.
So we go back in the room. Evie's in front of him. We're sitting, like 15 feet behind him. She's like, Sean, my name's Elizabeth, spells her name, talks a little bit more and says, Sean, spell my name and drop that first board. And he pointed right to the E. And I'm like, oh boy. And he spelled it. And then she's like, wow, Sean, you have a great brain. Spell brain. And he spelled brain. And
We started
by that
crying.
time, we're both crying.
We're crying because she didn't spell brain, and she did have to do some prompting, especially for Elizabeth, just for him to like relax his body enough. But I mean, she has a way about her.
Yeah. So we're videotaping this, and I still go back probably once a month and watch videos from it. Just watch him spell Donkey Kong, and just it was such an amazing experience.
Yes.
This was all his first time.
Well, the first you do a 2-day intensive, so it was like
Yeah.
2 sessions one day, two
Yeah.
sessions the next day. So it was, but the Elizabeth and the brain, that was the first time. And one thing that really stood out is right when we walked into the clinic, they didn't talk to us. They focused, she and Julie, who works there, they focused on Sean and they talked right to him like he was 14, almost 15 at the time, like he was a teenager, not like
Not like a baby. Yeah.
yep.
So,
So
What at the ABA center do they kind of talk like to a baby to him or no?
oh,
not
I think they're
not
pretty
not now.
good. Yeah, I
Not
think
now.
they're good.
And I mean, it's a long story with ABA, but we ended up having to switch ABA clinics because he he wasn't being treated
He probably has some trauma from
from
a previous place and how it ended up there, but no, they treat him well
yes.
where he's at with dignity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we even have some of the ABA techs will come do respite for us.
Mhm.
So we have them in our house. That's how highly we think of them.
Good.
So
Good.
But we that first weekend was just eye-opening. I mean, it changed so much on how we looked at Sean and how we thought about Sean and how we talked to him. And from the time we got back in the car to drive home from Virginia,
Mhm.
we had kind of changed our attitudes a lot about him and
Oh
what.
yeah. So had you ever tried typing or like a Proloquo or anything like that?
he has Proloquo on his iPad, but never really, he's never really had any kind of success at all with any kind of traditional speech kinds of things. He does a couple signs. He has some sign language. He lets us know what he wants in different ways, and you just get to know your child enough where you can preemptively know. But no, he's never taken off with
Because I'm
anything
just
like
thinking
that.
of the pointing and the control that it takes to point, the motor skill. And so has he ever done anything like that before?
I mean, a little bit on Prolico with the pictures and, but it never really took off.
Right.
And I don't think he really cared for it. I think it was probably super frustrating for him. And that was before we knew about the brain body disconnect and we started doing some things to try to help that. So maybe, I mean, hopefully eventually, if that's the route he wants to take and maybe he'll become a keyboarder one day. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious I'm trying to figure out how was he able to sit down and immediately start pointing without any type of like motor coaching first.
So I think like I mean, she was prompting him and coaching his body to look, get your eyes to it and, those kinds of things. It's not, um, I mean, she got way more out of him than we would have ever
Yeah.
thought, but it wasn't like she could just drop a board and he would just say anything that she want. It was still within the
I
method.
think,
It was the three boards. She
yeah,
started with the three
Yep.
boards. They were known questions. Um, but you could definitely see that he was the one getting to the letters and you can
Mhm.
tell you
like,
can tell when somebody is spelling and
yeah,
when they're still needing a lot of prompting to
Right.
I think a big part of it was he wanted to do it. Like
yeah,
he was so excited. It was like the first time in his life he got to really kind of show what he could do.
that's true. I afterward, I've said this a few times. It's like our whole world, even when we had all five kids living in the house, everything revolved around Sean, right? Like his schedule, his sleep, but he was just there. I mean, I feel terrible about it. It's something that I've apologized to him about. And when you have a non-speaker, it's like they're just there. You don't even really give them an option on things. We're going here, we're doing this. They just kind of, and so I mean that's one big thing that has changed. And I think, before we went to Virginia, I really was losing hope. Like this is never going to get better. I mean, I was really feeling that way, and I can't ask him yet because he's not quite open, but I think Sean was probably giving up hope that we'd ever really know the truth about him. And so that's all really changed as well. And he does not use the stencils. He uses a sensory board. So he uses his finger to poke and not a pencil because his body is too impulsive. He just throw it. So he uses the sensory board. I don't know if you've seen those
No,
before.
what's the difference?
Um, it's like a white corrugated board and it has foam letters on it.
Oh,
It's almost like a laminate in the sense where it's like a board with just the letters you don't poke through, but they're foam letters, so there's that sensory input. So it's not putting the pencil through.
okay.
Um, and so that's an accommodation in S2C. Um, but we always start with a stencil.
Oh, okay.
But
That's the first I've
Yeah.
heard of that. And uh does that come in the three boards or just the one with the 26 letters?
it comes in the number
Comes in
board. You
all
can
of
get the
them.
same set. Yep.
Exactly the
Yep.
same.
So is that what Evie used the very first time?
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
How did she know to use that and not the one with the pencil?
I think just his body.
Because she's Evie.
Yeah. Yeah. And she saw his body. I mean, his body, is just too impulsive. He was like grabbing out at her um, and so the best thing we did was bring that push chair. We just brought it. And actually, ABA really helped with that. A couple months prior, they asked if we would bring it in so they could start taking him for walks because it was springtime. And so he had his chair at the clinic, and that really helped us then when we took him to Virginia in the chair. And so we generally now, anytime we go in public, even if we went to my sister's house for Christmas dinner, we come in the chair. And then when he's ready, we let him out of the chair just because his body is so impulsive.
Okay, interesting. I had never heard of that either. See,
Yeah,
I told you we'd talk about new things.
Hmm.
Send me a picture of the push chair so that I can add a photo to this video so people
for
can
sure.
see what you're talking about. And
Okay.
where do you get something like that?
So there are different like special needs companies out there. They're pretty expensive. We did just buy
Of course
one
they
that
are.
I know everything, right? We did just buy one that was a little bit, this one was more for like older people, maybe with dementia or mobility, more like a wheelchair, but not a wheelchair. We have one of those, but the best one, the one we took with Evie, it has like a
Got the shoulder harness.
Like a
shoulder
harness,
harness,
yeah.
which kind of helps. And oh, it was so funny. He had a weighted blanket on him. He had this tunnel, like a tunnel that like in OT that you might crawl through, like one of those
Yeah.
clamps. So in Virginia, he had the tunnel over his head. He had the
Weighted
weighted
blanket.
blanket, and he was in his chair. And yeah, but it worked.
You have a
So
picture of that?
I might.
That's funny.
Hey, you meet the person where they're at, right?
Yep. Yep. Um, okay, so what happened after you were with Evie? How do you continue this journey?
So on our way home, I was doubtful. I'm not going to say I don't think I was quite like to the degree that Kelly was in the car on the way there. I was nervous that he wouldn't be able to do it, and he'd be the first one that couldn't. But I had kind of
I
thought to
think
myself,
every parent probably thinks that their kid
probably,
is that kid.
yeah. Um, I had thought to myself, if he could do this, I'm going to learn it because I'm in my 27th year of teaching. I could retire. I could have retired 2 years ago. So I'm getting close to, what's my next thing. And so in the car on the way after we left there, I told Sean, I'm going to learn how to do this and bring it to Michigan so families don't have to come all the way to Virginia like we did and we can help. And he got a huge smile on his face. So we got back. We didn't have a local practitioner to work with him, so we did virtual with our now dear friend Sherry, who's an amazing virtual practitioner. I think it's always best in person if you can, but if not, she's a fantastic option. So she started working with Kelly as the CRP and Sean. We took a parent cohort class through IASK for spelling to communicate.
Right,
We
which
took
is Elizabeth Vosseller's organization. Yeah.
Yes. So we went to the clinic in June. We took that class, started in September, like through November. I started the training that December, right?
Mhm.
And then I finished that June of 2024. And so I
Okay, yeah. So, because I looked into all of this myself, so I ask, which is spelling to communicate. There is a class for parents to take so that
yes,
parents can learn to spell with their kids. But then there's another class if you want to become a practitioner. That's a 6-month class. So you did both, is what you're saying. You did the parent class,
yes,
and then you decided I want to be a practitioner. So then you took that class. So now you're like a certified practitioner, and you can work with other kids as
correct.
well. Okay. And
So
then
then that
wait, but wait, now Kelly, you said when she mentioned this in the car, you had a big smile on your face. So where was your head?
Oh,
Sean had the big smile.
Oh, Sean
Oh,
did. Oh,
he was
okay.
so
Okay.
like
Oh, okay.
yeah, he was like, yes, thank you, that was like my yes, go do it.
Oh, okay. Oh, you said it to him, and
I said it
your
to
son is
Sean.
listening, and he's got it.
No, I said it to
Oh, you
Sean.
said it to Sean.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's
This
okay.
is okay. I'm trying to follow along. I'm trying to get a visual as everything. Okay. So, all right. So, Kelly, what did you think about this whole idea of
uh,
her wanting to do it?
I'm all behind her.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
what she wants to do, let's do it. So,
Right?
and
Yes,
then
but don't you do this now too?
I do, and then as
So
soon
this is what I'm getting at. So
Yeah.
when did you
as
finally get the idea? It's always the women first.
yeah, I think I knew kind of right away that we kind of had a plan that she would do it first and I would do it after she got done, and we would just go in this together. So
I think working with Sherry, with Kelly being his CRP, she was not only coaching Sean, she was coaching him as the right. And
mhm,
so like he learned a lot that way. And that's kind of when he decided he was going to do it
yeah.
as well.
And the crazy thing is when I was in college, I went to college to be a teacher. So I've always wanted to work with kids, and I've coached basketball my entire life, working with kids. But then I didn't do that as a career, and now it's kind of, came to a
Yes.
place where I do get to work with kids, So,
Make a difference, big difference.
and I say kids, I'm working with adults too, but I just kind of
Yeah.
look at them as all.
They're all younger.
Yeah, they're all.
I know. I
kids.
call them all kids, even if
Yeah.
they're 30 something years old,
Same.
because I'm talking to the parents. It's our
Right.
kids. Not trying to be insulting to them. It's
Yeah.
it's
So,
parent talk.
They're somebody's kids.
so after she got
Yes.
certified, I started my training, and then I got my certification this spring. So,
Okay. Okay. Good. All right. So what are we doing now?
So, I'm still teaching. I really like my job a lot. I'm a interventionist now. I'm a reading interventionist, and so that's another love of mine. I would love eventually to bring like reading help to our clinic. So, Kelly left his job in August so we could grow our clinic because just doing it on the weekends, we can't really grow it the way that we'd like to grow
Well,
it.
yeah. So wait. So back up. So you got your certifications, and you had only worked with Sean at this point. So when did you start working with other kids, and how?
I started working with other clients back in the fall during my training.
During your
Well,
training.
yeah. I mean, because you have to work with a few kids
Yes.
to get
So,
certified, right?
some of
Where
those.
did you find these other kids from?
So, some word of mouth. Dr. Bogner was great enough to post about me starting, the program. Some people reached out that way. Um, I think just through people.
Mhm.
Now that we are certified, sends people our way. Um, through through clients, they might have somebody like, hey, we have a friend. So just kind of like that.
So this was something that you just did on the weekends because you're both working.
Yeah, well, she just sees clients on the weekends. I think she's got 6 or 7 clients.
During his training, he saw clients on Saturday. I saw him on Saturday afternoon and then Sundays. And he did see some during the
Yeah,
weeknights
weeknights.
too. But now he's strictly he's Monday through Friday, daytime.
Yeah, I'm just getting at all this for anybody else that has decides, hey, I think I want to do this. Okay,
Yep.
so I would just want to sort of walk through the steps
Okay.
of how you did this. I mean, especially to get to the point where you're like, hey, I'm ready to leave my job and do this full time.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
how do you start? So you started by doing it on the weekends, and it started to, I guess, build up. How did you get to the point in August where you're like, I'm ready to leave my job? And how did you start and you said you mentioned a center, so you have a space that you use where you actually
Yes.
pay rent?
So what happened was when I was training, the problem is where are you going to work with clients? And we considered like remodeling our basement and making that our clinic down there, but we have 2 big dogs, and Sean doesn't always like people coming to the house, and so that was kind of not the best idea. I was working at the library in like a study room, but the spellers I would work with would be too loud, and the librarian kept coming over every time and like threatening to kick us out. So we found a small space. It's smaller than the one we're in now. Um, and we got a clinic right as I was finishing. So we had our own clinic space as I was finishing my training.
Where was this space?
About 20 minutes from our house, 15 or 20
Well,
minutes.
what type of a facility was it?
Oh, it's in a office building. We had the basement. There were like 2 rooms. It was a little problematic because there were stairs, and so the spellers we worked with, that wasn't an issue, but we didn't want to not be able to work with somebody if that was an issue. So we stayed there about 6 months. It was a month-to-month kind of lease, and then we were at our foot doctor 3 minutes or 3 miles from our house, and there was a space in her building. We walked by and there was an empty office, and he told me about it, and I went and looked at it, and it's a great space. So we switched there. So we're close to our house now. So Kelly, he was lucky he didn't have to do the library with the mean librarian, but so he had a office space right from the start. And so that's where we're at now.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Does he, when you're going through for your training with Evie, did they go over how to run this as a business, or is this just something you have to figure out on your own?
So during the actual training, there isn't like a business model part of it or anything like that because people take this and use it in different ways. Some people travel to people's houses, So, no, but there is support to talk to other practitioners. We do have a practitioner portal that's private with certified practitioners where you can ask questions.
Okay.
So I think kind of just doing that and just kind of just pushing forward and being, a little bit crazy, like, let's do this. Like, if we're going to do it, let's do it. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of where we're at. We've since made a foundation. Last fall, we started a nonprofit. And we are fundraising. We have an art fundraiser coming up in November. We are fundraising for Speller scholarships. We were really wanting to try to build this area of Michigan as a whole, even if it's not directly at our clinic, just the whole community. The more open spellers in particular we have, I think the more demand we'll have for a day program, because once you have once somebody can voice what they want, then you can try to meet that need. So if they want to finish school or they want to learn a hobby or whatever it might be. So that's really our big goal, because we don't want it just to be spelling, and there's nothing wrong with it just being spelling, but we kind of see it, we want a day program.
Yeah, and building the community is really important to us. It's not about just finding spellers for our clinic. It's kids from all over Southeast Michigan, even over into Canada.
Mhm.
We recently had an outing at the Detroit Zoo a few weeks ago, where counting
We had like 58
the kids with autism
Oh, wow.
and siblings and parents, we had almost 60
Mhm.
people there for that. So,
spellers.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, all right. So you're thinking too, I mean, Sean's 17, he's becoming a young man. So what is he going to do? Right.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I have a friend here in New Jersey. She runs several day programs, and they're opening up a fourth location. And they're not calling this a day program. It's a center, and they describe it as kind of like a YMCA, where you choose what classes you want,
I could see that.
and then they all get their, SSI or whatever, their money from the government, so they pay for it with their goods and services. Like, they're allotted so much money from the government, and they can use it to pay for these classes. So it
Nice.
doesn't have to come out of pocket for the parents, but it gives them places to go, things to do, but it's things they want to do. And then
Exactly.
they're also going to be incorporating spelling into this as well. So now they have a way to communicate what they want.
That's
But I
nice.
find the biggest thing that they want is socialization. They want friends.
Yep. We've had some group lessons, so we don't just do individual lessons at our clinic. We've done some group lessons. And I mean, who doesn't want community? Who doesn't want people that, so I think it's a huge, huge part of it all.
Yeah.
But
Yep. So what's the name of your foundation?
True North Connect Foundation. We didn't know what else to name it, so
Okay. And so the name of your facility is True North Connect.
correct.
Correct? Okay.
Yes.
So they can look it up. It has a website, correct?
It does.
It's truenorthconnect.com or
.org.
.org?
.org.
.org.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So anybody in your area can find you, right? And if they want to come do
The
spelling.
other thing, I think, being that we're parents of a speller and practitioners, I think one advantage of that, and not that, I mean, it's just the truth of it, is that we really understand what parents and families are going through. So, I mean, nothing will phase us coming, you can't tell us something. Most things we've already dealt with or seen, or, and so some things that we've wanted to bring into our clinic, or more so our day program or our day center, is not just about the spelling. It's about, we call it the 7 terrains, and it's about the different areas where we can help support families. Like, even, not long ago, I had a family ask me, I have some holes in our walls, which is, not uncommon. Do you know somebody trustworthy that could help us get those fixed? And so, like, compiling lists of resources for parents, sharing. So we just want it to be more comprehensive.
Just to touch on that, the room that I'm in now used to be Robbie's room, and you can't see it. Wait, if I move my can. Okay, see the beadboard on the wall
Yes.
there?
Yes,
Yeah, that was to cover up the holes in the wall.
for
So,
sure. We understand just what that's like, don't we?
yeah.
So, so just those kinds of things, we really have a heart for not just the speller, for the family. I think I do for the moms in particular, just because I know. And so I think that's part of what we really want our message to be as
Tell me
well.
about those seven, you call them seven pillars?
Terrains. We call them the
Terrains?
terrains because True North Connect with like the guy, like kind of the whole theme of it with the compass and it's a
Mhm.
terrain. So we just have it broken down in different areas that once we have our day program, things will be focused in that respect. So, like fueling your body is an important thing, like getting good sleep, getting good nutrition. So maybe we'll have like cooking classes there with the spellers or those. So we want to kind of bring in all the parts where it's not just spelling, kind of like what you said. Like, I love that YMCA kind of thing. Like,
Mhm.
you come in and this person might do art, and this person might do art, spelling, a group spelling lesson, an adaptive exercise class, and then off they go. And this person might, so it just completely different. Um, and so we just broke it down into 7 different areas that pretty much anything we do falls into one of those areas. So one is building your community. The zoo outing falls under that terrain, that kind of thing.
Mhm. Nice. Yeah, keep going. Keep explaining because I thought that
So
was interesting on your website.
I really,
Can you remember them all? I
well,
wouldn't be able to.
I brought a sheet
Oh,
to
there
see.
you go.
So what happened was, and I don't even know if I should say this, but I'm going to. Um, we both see a holistic practitioner because Kelly has had cancer and reoccurring cancer, and the practitioner follows the 10 terrains. It's the metabolic approach to cancer. And
Okay.
so they treat the body in 10 terrains and they look at like your environment and the toxins in your home and all of these things.
Okay.
And found
Now it
that
all
very,
makes sense. That's where you got
yes,
that from. Yep.
yes. So I
Yes.
found it very intriguing and
Which I'm getting really into that myself also. I have a friend from my old church that I ran into at an event, and I told her some health issues that my husband was going through. One of them was he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and he's Italian. So all he wants to eat is pasta, pizza and pasta, and all this white starch, which converts to sugar, and he can't have it anymore. And I told her I was really struggling because it's a whole life shift for me as well, because his mother is the one that taught me how to cook. So I only know how
oh
to make
wow.
Italian stuff,
Yeah,
you know?
Italian
And
so good.
so, and this is a man that won't eat fruits or vegetables. He does his like, get that green stuff off my plate, you know? He just wants white stuff and meat. So she said, she had breast cancer and she's in a is a complete shift as well, and now she's doing like life coaching, and it's helping you with pretty much all these 7 terrains as well,
Yep,
like how to get all the chemicals out of your system. And like it's like changing your laundry detergent and
for
your
sure.
your soap and your no perfumes. And even she even said to me, make sure when you buy new clothes that you wash them first because there's chemicals on your. I was like, I didn't even think of that.
I know there's so much. So
Ah,
we started a lot of that part when we found
yeah.
out Sean had double MTHFR mutation. So we had already
Yes.
taken the toxins out.
Well,
And
yeah, you were seeing a med maps doctor, so you
right,
know that at least. So the food we kind of know, right? People are like,
right.
okay, the gluten and dairy, but there's way more to it.
Right, the dyes and all those. So I just think, we can use our experiences to maybe help others. It's never to push it, like you've got to do
Yes.
this, but hey, you need some support. So one of the trains is called Eliminating Stress in Your Home. And there's something Kelly and I did a few years ago that I think really made a difference. And this was pre-spelling. And things have gotten a lot better in our home since we've started all of this, honestly, and since we understand Sean so much better and his apraxia. He would sometimes get self-injurious or injury others, like get aggressive. He'd
Yeah.
feel aggressive. My reaction would not be good, like and so that would just fuel it.
Escalates, yeah.
And so for a long time we had no TVs because we couldn't have a TV because he broke like every flat screen we had. And, you just start to feel like, gosh, we can't even have our own space. So we have kind of like two family rooms in our house, and we came up with the idea one day to close one off. We got barn doors and made this den with the fireplace. We made it our space. And so it could have things that are breakable. The computer's in there. There's like we can have, and so don't you think that helped a lot? Because
A lot.
we would put him to bed and then we'd go into the den with the fireplace, and we had like it was like a nice area, and it was just we could have date nights in there and stuff. It was just a nice getaway. So that would be something when I think about eliminating stress in your home, giving others ideas like that. Giving others ideas. One's called safeguarding your home. It could even be like Sean sleeps in a Courtney bed. It's a zip up bed.
Oh,
He is,
yes, I've seen those. Yeah.
and that has made a huge difference, right? We actually can get sleep, and he loves it. Like I think he feels safe in there. He
Mhm.
he enjoys the bed. So sometimes parents just don't even know these things. And just like, I mean, I've always learned more from other autism parents than probably anywhere else, right?
Yeah, especially for parents who are just starting the journey too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The safeguards we have in the car because he could get impulsive and undo a seatbelt. And, I mean, we've had lots of stories. So these are just things that we put out a monthly newsletter, and we talk about one of our terrains in each one of the newsletters. So, like feeding your brain, a couple months ago in the newsletter, it had lists of podcasts from like from all the age groups. Like, here are some podcasts all up through adults that you can help feed your child's brain. Just things like that we can do to just be a little bit more supportive, where it's not here's spelling, then off you go, is kind of our thought.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, you're really helping families like in all areas, in every area.
Kind of to be like he said, those, especially those just starting off or might not know, like kind of be the person, like you wish that somebody would have told you this or given you this advice or shared
Yes.
this with you. That's kind of what we want to do. And you get really attached. I mean, our spellers are, you get really attached to the families and to the speller. It's been amazing what it's brought to our life, and it's not just, and Sean's not open yet. He's getting there. He's making good progress. But I mean, I just did a Facebook post today because it just dawned on me, like so much has changed. You don't have to wait to feel the big effects of how amazing this is in your life. You don't have to wait until your speller is fully open and can tell you all of the things. Just knowing who they are and knowing that it's not a cognitive issue, it's a motor issue, presuming competence, like all these things just makes all the difference, don't you think?
Yep. Yeah, I was spelling with Sean yesterday, and the lesson was about dangerous jobs, and one of it was about tagging sharks. And I asked him, who do you know in your life that you think would be a good shark tagger? And I put the 26 board in front of him, and he spelled Autumn, which is his sister's name.
Oh, geez.
Um,
Correct
and
off.
that's the first time he spelled anybody's name in our family.
Yeah.
Ah,
So I couldn't wait to tell her. And
yeah.
and then I asked him, would you want to go down in a cage to see sharks? And he typed yes, or
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
poked yes. So I told Autumn, I said, it looks like you and Sean need to plan a vacation. So,
But early on, even on the three boards, I think in math more than anything, he showed us what's in there because you use the same math board throughout. So you myelinate those pathways to get to the numbers if you're practicing with it, even before you move to the 26 letter board. And I don't even remember the question. This was almost 2 years ago, 18 months at least. And he did a subtraction problem with the answer of 83. Remember that? We got him an 83 shirt because it was like his first. But I mean, you know, it shows a lot of cognitive ability. And this comes from my reading hat too, because of my day job, to listen to a passage, understand the passage, listen to a question, pick the answer out of the passage, and then give the answer, let alone the motor it takes for him to be able to spell it. So like just him being able to do that was like, okay, there's so much more going on in that brain. I mean, I was told he was like an 18-month-old or a 2-year-old. I mean, I don't even listen to that. I haven't listened to that for a long time. But if I have a moment, I want to tell a quick story about you have to get ADOS testing. You have to get all the psychological testing to keep your insurance going, right? So they put these autism families through almost torture. You have to answer all of these questions about your child. Does he use a map to navigate? Like things that just ridiculous. And so early on, these things would upset me. Like, how is he with friendships? I used to get upset by it all. Then after a while, I just check the boxes, like whatever, right? Like I'm not going to be bothered. I'm not going to get upset. So in 2021, I think it was, we had to go for the ADOS testing, and it was during COVID. Everybody still had masks on in the healthcare facilities, and Sean hated masks. He can't see the face. So he would like grab your mask. He would not wear a mask. And so we go to this appointment, and it's just hard, even in the waiting room. The receptionist is like, he will wear a mask. I'm like, good luck. Yeah, good luck getting a mask on him. But so they go back. They're gone for 5 minutes. They come back out. I waited in the waiting room, small room. And we did what we had to. They checked off the boxes. It was a disaster. We got in the car and we left. So 2 years later, it's time to get this test done again. We have to do it for insurance. And so we go to the same place, and this is after spelling, only a few months after spelling. So
Same person.
same psychologist. We go back. It's the same psychologist. She remembers Sean. I'm sure she does, because I can only imagine what it was like in that room.
It wasn't pretty.
So she remembers him.
Wait,
And
first of all, he went in that room alone, and she.
no,
No, it
Kelly.
was me.
Sorry,
Oh,
I
okay.
said Kelly.
With me.
Okay.
Kelly and Sean have an amazing relationship. They have early on. Nobody, like, when I need something and I'm struggling with Sean and Kelly's not home, I FaceTime and put Kelly. He calls him Kelly. We call him Kelly Dad because he's a stepdad, Kelly Dad.
Mhm.
And we put the phone up, and Kelly will just say, "Okay, get out of bed, go to the shower," and Sean hops right up and does it. But with me, anyway. So they have an amazing
You mean
relationship.
like a typical teenager?
You would never know that he's his stepdad, but because we're talking about things, that's why we're even bringing it up. But anyway, so we go to this psychologist. She tells us I remember Sean. We push him in with his pushchair. We're in a bigger room this time, and Sean is like slumped over. He's mad. He doesn't want to be there, right? So, like, who wants to hear about all that you can't do, right? And have all these other people talk about it. So we start talking to her, and we start telling her, I think she might have asked, well, how are things since the last time you were here? And we started telling her about our trip to Virginia and about spelling and about how smart he is and how he understands everything. We start telling her all the things. And you could literally see Sean sit up in his chair. He was so proud and so, like, it was amazing. She even remarked, she's like, I can't believe the difference in his disposition right now while we're talking about this. I'm like, because imagine being him, always hearing other people talk about you and all the things you can't do and blah, blah, blah. And so at one point, he wanted him to play with Matchbox cars. That's part of the test. And he wanted nothing to do with it. And I said to her, how many 15-year-olds do you know? He turned 15 in like 2 weeks or something. I said, how many 15-year-olds do you know that like to play Matchbox cars? And she said, good point. I said, part of this is what you're asking. He's 15, he's not 5. And so I don't know if it made a change there with her. She was very kind. It's
Did he
not
get
like
to spell in front of her?
No, we had just left.
Oh, just left Evie's.
Yeah, we saw
Okay.
Evie June 1st, and this was like in August. So
Okay.
but we told her about what he was able to do, and
But she didn't discredit it.
she didn't. No, and
We showed her video.
yeah,
Oh, you did?
we
Oh,
did.
okay.
Video from Virginia.
We did. You're right.
Oh, great.
But
Great.
just the change in him, just you know, anyway, those things, those tests and the thought of that it needs to come along. Like they're behind. I mean, they only know what they know, but to think that a non-speaker or a minimal speaker, just because they can't get the words out, they don't have the motor to do that, to think that they are unintelligent or they don't understand or they're not really there is just the biggest, as you know, misconception out there. And I think it's going to get to the point where it just can't be denied anymore. The more spellers are out there and the more people see it, I hope at least.
Yeah, and really, we're to the point now where nothing Sean does on the board surprises me anymore. Like I remember when he did that first math answer that was 83, that was like in November of 2023.
Yeah.
I reached out to Evie and I'm like, how does he know this? Like he didn't go to school past 5 years old. He's all been in ABA. And she's like, Kelly, he's been doing math in his head for years.
Yeah.
Now he finally has a way to show you. And now, like, he's good at spelling. He's even better when it comes to math. Like, he has very few mispokes. Like, I can almost ask him anything. It's amazing.
And I am not good at math, so it's not for me, that's for sure.
But,
We joke he's probably the smartest one in our family.
I do want to say though, for if you're a parent watching this and you're thinking about spelling or you've heard of it, or if you're a parent that started it and it's early on, don't give up. Like it's a marathon, not a sprint. We've been doing it for 20, 30 months, like 2.5 years almost. Like Sean was on the 3 boards for over 2 years before we moved him to the 26. And a big difference for us was we always spelled in the evenings. And a lot of times he didn't want to do it. He was tired. I was tired.
It was a chore.
It was a chore.
Mhm.
We felt like we had to. We weren't always consistent with it. There's times we took a break for a month because it was becoming traumatic, I think, for everybody. And then about 6-8 weeks ago, we started spelling in the mornings. We get up, I give him a shower, feed him breakfast. We go to the basement to spell. He is so excited to go down there and show me what he knows. So, we've only been on the 26 board for about 8 weeks.
Okay.
And he is not
around the same time you switched to the mornings.
Yes.
Yep.
Within a week of starting in the mornings, I switched to the 26.
We started taking him to a practitioner in Ann Arbor, even though we're both practitioners, just like I'm a teacher, but I can't homeschool my older son. We would have been, so it's good to get another perspective and somebody else. And she's amazing. And after the first visit with him, she's like, he's too accurate to not, I'd put him on the 26. And she was right. We were holding him back, I think, too, because we're his parents.
And I think he got bored with the 3 boards too.
Yeah.
He needed that challenge. And I asked him the other day, what continent is Cameroon in? He spelled Africa. Like today, I'm like, what part of the country do extreme hurricanes go through? He poked Tornado Alley. Like he knows so much. And
that was not following a lesson.
No, those are all prior.
These are prior knowledge questions.
Yeah.
Not in the lesson. So every day I wake up and I'm like, I can't wait to spell with Sean. And
it used to be where I was like, are you going to spell with Sean tonight? Like I was kind of nudging him, and it's easy for me because I wasn't as CRP, he was, but I'm like, come on, we got to do it. Evie said 7 days, you try for 7 days, and then if you end up 5, you're good. We're not doing that.
Yeah. And I think we've taken 1 day off in the last 6-8 weeks.
Yeah.
So, just don't give up. I mean, these kids are in there. They have so much knowledge.
Right.
And their brains just work differently than ours. Like,
and even though we knew that it was going to be hard taking him to Virginia, we both had said, like, he deserves the chance. He deserves the chance to try. And if you don't try, you never know. But and it takes a while. I mean, some people pick it up quick, more, faster than others. They're quicker at it, but you got to myelinate those pathways. And so, you can't compare any journey to like one person to another. I know that's hard sometimes, especially if you watch the documentary or read the book, because it seems like for Jamie it went, faster. But we only saw the highlight reel. We didn't see, all of it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I can't wait till we get to the point where we can really ask Sean truly open
Yeah,
questions.
just open questions. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I spelled with a client this morning, and his mom wanted to know if she could take him any place in the U.S. on vacation, where would he pick? And he spelled Hawaii,
yeah, he went right for that
right for
H.
the most expensive place.
He
She's
laughed
like,
so
oh,
hard.
she
Right.
laughed. She's like,
So
I
you
can't believe
can't
you picked
ask him a question
Hawaii.
like that. He won't be able to answer it. Have you tried
Um,
the open
I,
questions?
I haven't asked him that question yet, but I probably should.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
So
the reason usually when you're first starting with open questions, it's tied to the lesson. So you want to keep that cognitive and that motor together.
Mhm.
Um, but this client's further along than Sean
yeah,
is, but so it's pretty awesome.
He's
I
tracking with the already knowing math and already knowing how to read and and things like that. I'm like, I wonder how much he really knows.
So I think you need to, I don't know, maybe look into what Dr. Bogner says about it with the gut and the brain and what's happening with the firing in the brain of how, of why he's starting to really research and look into why these kids know, I say kids, but
Hmm.
as much as they do,
Hmm.
that there could be more to it. Like with the chemical, like I don't know, you'd have to look into what he has to say about it. I could never, usually when I talk with him, I can follow along pretty well, like, yeah, that makes sense. And then when we're done with our appointment or we're done with our conversation, I'm like, I have no, I have no
What
idea
he just
really what
said.
he said.
Well, that's like when I talk to Katie Asher, she explains everything to me, and then for me to try to turn around and explain it to
Yeah.
somebody else, I'm like, I don't know. Let's go listen to her. Go listen to what she said.
well, Katie.
I wouldn't say that, I'm not going to discount or say anybody's wrong or that it hasn't
Mhm.
happened. But we don't have experience with that.
You're not seeing it. But and Kelly, you're
We're
the one
not
that's
trying for
spelling
any.
with him
No,
the most
I
though.
haven't
So
I haven't listened to the tapes.
Yeah, we haven't even.
oh, you haven't even listened?
No, I
I've
haven't.
I've listened to 2 episodes, but yeah.
Okay. It's well, basically what they're saying is they become very connected with usually the mother, but it's usually the mother that's also the CRP. So I'm curious if Kelly would be the one. And it's almost like when you start spelling with them, they'll spell something that kind of was your thought. And they start getting confused after a while. They're like, wait a minute, did I think that? Or did you think that and put that in my head? And I've seen moms that are saying what they're spelling kind of almost finish their sentence before they've even finished spelling it. There becomes this interconnectedness, mentally, that happens that they they they're not quite sure. So, all right. So it sounds like you guys are doing a lot to help families besides beyond just spelling. I think it's an amazing thing. If people need help, like I guess what I'm asking is some people do podcasts and they have like private memberships, or they write blogs and it's a membership thing. Like, are you helping your community of your spellers, or is this something that you put out publicly that other people can kind of reach out to you for help as well?
So on our website, we've just kind of started adding those newsletters where we're adding some of those things in there. That's all on our website. We do have a Facebook group. It's not specifically spelling, but it's a bunch of parents, mainly spelling parents. It's called Rooted in Real, REAL, just a place for parents to talk about things openly. Because in like the spellers communities, they want to keep it more focused on spelling.
Right.
So I started that group just to like if you have a problem with sleep or you're just a place for parents to be honest with each other, to keep the dignity of the speller, and because quite honestly, some of these other groups that these parent groups
Like on,
for,
on Facebook, you mean?
yes, like a parent
Mhm.
group that's like for a severe autistic, or
Mhm.
some of those groups are really hard to be a part of because of just the heaviness of it. And so I don't discount their stories, but it's like kind of being able to talk in a place where it's real, but we still have hope and we still keep the dignity of the person you know what I'm saying? And so there's that group that we share some stuff in, but no, we do not have a subscription. If anybody ever reached out, we try to help them any way that we could. So if they saw something like about the 7 terrains on our website and they wanted more information, we'd be more than willing, even if they're not from our community, to help them out.
Yeah, and I'll say this, we need to make enough money to make a living and pay our bills. But I'm 54 years old. I have another 10 years or so to work. I just want to help as many kids and families as we can help. People have helped Sean. We want to give back. It's important for us. It's important for Sean to have friends and to be a part of a community. We won't always be here. And we wanted Sean to be taken care of after we're gone. So, this is a big reason why we're doing it.
Okay, so then how do they reach you? Through the website, I guess, right? truenorthconnect.org.
They can, yes. There's a box to send a message. It goes right to our email. It's probably the easiest way.
Okay. All right, great. Anything else you want to add?
No,
I just can't believe we've shared as much as we did today.
I would have shared more, but she won't let me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. That's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and it helped you gain a new perspective. If so, be sure to hit the like button and follow this channel to hear or see future episodes. Please visit our website at robbiesworldbook.com, where you'll learn more about Robbie's World Foundation. We do retreats for moms and events for families. You'll learn more about our book series, Robbie's World and His Spectrum of Adventures, which was featured on the Today Show for World Autism Awareness Day. The series has 12 stories about a little penguin with autism based on the life of my son Robbie when he was a little boy. Kids of all ages and abilities love to read the rhyming stories. Meanwhile, they'll be learning things about autism like stimming and eloping. If you'd like to actually see videos of Robbie and get to know him, visit our YouTube page, Robbie's World, and scroll all the way back to the beginning, and you'll see videos of him, and you'll see how this all got started.
Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to join us again on our next episode of Spectrum Perspectives.